Hey guys, welcome to the Big Blue United podcast. My name is TJ. I'm here with Dan and Colin. Happy Thanksgiving, guys. What's up? How's it going? How's your Thanksgiving?
It's good. It's good. Ate entirely too much. Went to the gym today and felt like I'm good now. I don't have to go to the gym again. I worked it off. That's it.
You're a basic boy, Colin. It's a basic Thanksgiving story.
I mean, the only reason I didn't go to the gym during the whole thing is I was in Vermont and I wasn't near one. I was in Vermont in an area where there's nothing. You have to drive 35 minutes to go to the grocery store. So
you should have ran to the gym and then worked out and then ran back.
The main road.
All our excuses. It's
dangerous.
about consistency, Colin.
Yeah, well,
I'm ashamed to be your friend.
Who are you letting down?
Myself.
Yourself? Yeah.
And you.
You only have one body for this life, one vessel.
Did you work out today?
Today?
Yeah.
I worked my brain out today.
Oh, did you sweat?
Mm-hmm. I put some more wrinkles in that thing, so it's a wrinkly brain.
Oh, it's not smooth?
Yeah, that's what happens. It gets wrinkled up when you learn stuff.
So, okay.
Yeah.
So,
Colin, you either you get better or you get worse. You don't stay the same,
I know who said that.
Yeah, they're going to the dome, baby.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Somers football.
Damn right.
Tony DiMatteo Jr.
It's not dome yet. It's
yeah, it is.
Oh, it is dome. It
They're
is
in the
dome. Yes, it is
championship.
dome.
Our high school
Never mind.
football team is once again in the state championship. Well, they lost last year, but we're rooting them on this year. Who are they playing again? Liberty or something?
Yeah, Union Endicott.
Union Endicott. I don't know why Union replaced with Liberty in my brain, but who cares? Hey guys, Thanksgiving at my house was great. My wife made a 22-pound turkey, and then we had a person drop out at the last minute. So the amount of leftover turkey was just absolutely crazy. I finished it all today.
Oh,
nice.
I ate all of it.
Sandwich style?
No, I was just animaling it out of the fridge, just
Pure
periodically,
protein.
just taking hunks of turkey, cold turkey, and just chomping down.
I was gonna say you look shredded. You look cut.
Yeah, I haven't worked out. I couldn't even tell you in the decade.
It's just that pure protein, dude.
Yeah,
just cuts you up.
Do you think with all that extra food in the fridge, you could have stopped cold turkey?
All right. Please follow Big Blue United on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Follow us at BBU Podboys with the Z on Twitter. Don't forget to download the DraftKings app. Use promo code TPPN. Now, I have something to say about DraftKings because anyone who's listening to the pod knows that I'm not a sports gambler. However, when I did sign up with promo code TPPN, I got some free cash. And for some reason, I decided to use it yesterday. And I did 2 parlays, and I won 1. So believe it or not, I'm
nice
50-50 on my parlays. And these were parlays that DraftKings had suggested that I do also. So I'm surprised by that. And also, I hate that A.J. Brown didn't catch one more ball because then I would have won 2 parlays on my first day doing parlays on DraftKings. So you can win right away. Download it now. Promo code TPPN, guys. And our sponsor this week is Happy Earth. Colin got some packages from them, I believe. Colin, why don't you share with us a little bit about Happy Earth?
Yeah, it was more directed towards my wife, Steph. She got a dress that's very comfortable. It's black, but it's one of those versatile dresses you can wear on any sort of occasion. But the best part about it is it's Happy Earth is this kind of company that actually talks the talk and follows it up with the giving back to the community, all about helping climate change. Everything that is bought, a portion of the purchases goes towards planting trees, giving extra clothes to communities in need and stuff like that. And you hear that a lot from a lot of companies, and then you look into it, they don't really do as much as you think they do, and this company really backs it up. So it's a very good cause with actual awesome apparel too. So I would recommend it to anyone. It's if you have need your retail therapy, you'll feel better about it afterwards because it's actually something good.
Nice, man. And I believe you can check out Happy Earth at happyearthapparel.com. Let me just put that up there. Booyah. Happyearthapparel.com. Check it out, friends. Okay, before we get into the game, I want to talk about Odell and the plane because I think it's funny. before I have a little story about what I think happened, I just wonder if this, because I've been reading a lot on Twitter that this, Odell is not matured and he's not ready, blah, blah, blah. Has this deterred you from wanting him on the team at the right price at all?
Not at all.
Yeah, it doesn't affect how I felt beforehand, though. Because we don't need him on the team this year, like we said.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think he's matured enough since he's left us. I think things were blown out of proportion. I mean, it's just a guy who is pretty somewhat famous trying to sleep on a plane and not be bothered. And it just sounds like the airline went a little too far just for the sole fact that he's someone of a high profile character.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing was funny. And I want to tell a story about what I think happened here. So Colin and I, a few years ago, went to a bachelor party for our buddy AJ, who's been on the pod before, doing some 49ers work for us. And we were out in San Jose area. It was a fun weekend. We did some skeet shooting, drinking, all kinds of stuff like that. Anyway, on the way back, we go to the San Jose airport, and one of the dudes who had been at the party was like, "Hey, do you guys want a Xanax for the flight?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, no problem. That sounds great." So Colin and I took a little Xanax. We went to the bar, had a little Chardonnay, I believe it was. Sipping on a nice, I don't remember if it was buttery or oaky, but either way, it was a nice combo. We're waiting in line to get in the plane. Colin just taps my shoulder and goes, "I'm not going to make it, man." I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, I'm fading fast." I was like, "You hold on. We're getting on the flight. Just act normal. Just act normal." So at this time, I'm getting a little loopy too. So, we were sitting in separate places. We got on the plane. I put Colin down. I go back to my seat. I strap in. And
You
just
found
like
a seat
that,
for him?
yeah, no. I made sure it was okay, because I'm good with my
Numbers.
mixing of drugs. Yeah. But so I sat down, I buckled my seatbelt, and then I don't remember anything until we got to New York.
So
and I think that's what happened to Odell. He just maybe had 2 glasses of Chardonnay when he should have had 1. And, he was just a little bit in and out of it. It happens to people. Everybody takes, if you've never taken a Xanax before you get an airplane, I highly recommend it. I'm not a doctor though, so
So my favorite part about the Odell situation. First, I want to say that I took my iPod out when I sat down, and it was still the ear pods were wrapped around it, and I was ready to listen to some music and have myself a good flight. And I fell asleep the entire time, and they were still in my hand when we landed at JFK or wherever it was. And the woman next to me, I think, thought I was dead and was very relieved to see that I was waking up. So anyway, Odell, on the other hand, as per his lawyer, which was, I don't know if you read the extensive statement by him or many of them. I think he might have more than one lawyer on this right now for whatever reason. But one of them stated that as per his usual flight protocol, I'm paraphrasing, he had the blanket over his head to sleep the entire time.
Sleep blanket.
But why would the blanket already be on your head and you haven't even left the terminal yet? I guess maybe you're getting ready to go to sleep or something. But I don't know. I have a hard time picturing the stewardesses and what have you just jumping to conclusions and basically calling security right then and there because he just wasn't waking up. Unresponsive. I don't know. That doesn't sound, I mean, as per our story, I guess it sounds possible.
It sounds exactly like what happened. He got in the plane. He's like, "Oh shit, I'm twisted. Let me put this blanket over my head and maybe no one will talk to me."
Maybe he's a nervous Nelly when it comes to flying. Who knows?
Sure. Totally possible. I mean, it's kind of just a funny story. I just don't really care, like, either way. I mean, if he does end up on the team, I just hope they don't overpay him. And the more remarkable thing to me is that he's even medically cleared to be playing right now.
Yeah.
After tearing his ACL in February.
Yeah.
I'm concerned to see what he's actually got left after this injury and the timeline he came back in. That's so, if he ends up a Giant, great. If it's for, any amount of money, not great. My opinion.
I'm cool with it either way. I really don't want him to go to the Cowboys, regardless of how much he has left. What I'm really kind of getting sick of is him clearly and noticeably interacting more on Twitter to boost his profile and and not even just Twitter, anywhere else, and just like commenting on all the games for these teams that are rumored to be looking at him, and then he's going to go visit and what have you. And it's just like, I get what you're doing, but it's just like, it smells of LeBron, you know?
I couldn't disagree more. I feel like, his people are doing what they're supposed to do. The people that get paid to make him the most money possible. And he's just he's listening to the people around him, and he's going to probably, garner more interest and get a better deal because of it.
Yeah.
While it is annoying, all the static and all that stuff, I mean, it's totally understandable. And I think, expected at this point, a lot of times with someone of his, notoriety.
As long as he doesn't go to the Cowboys, I really don't care. I mean, it would be great to have him back, but like, I can't stand the idea of him being down there. I really can't.
Makes me sick. I mean, if they were going to stand Odell, why did they get rid of Cooper to begin with?
Well, that's the weird part.
But whatever. Yeah. I've been enjoying the fruits of Amari Cooper on the Browns and my fantasy team. So appreciate you, Jerry.
Appreciate
Jerry
Jacoby
Jones.
Brissett.
Should we talk about Jerry Jones or just leave that one?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Let's talk about that. That's a good one.
We can just state facts.
Yeah, Jerry Jones was, at some sort of protest 65 years ago.
I think Forrest Gump was
at
that
14 or Forrest Gump was there.
Yeah.
Jerry Jones was 14 or 15, and he was, presumably involved in a protest against, the integration of the school in Little Rock, Arkansas, back during, the civil rights era. I mean, listen, no one in here likes Jerry Jones. No, I don't know anyone who likes Jerry Jones, but I mean, he was 14 and it was 65 years ago. I don't know. I mean, I listened to what Stephen A said. I guess I'm kind of just reiterating what he was saying, but
what Stephen A say? I didn't hear it.
Oh, he was,
he was very on Jerry Jones's side.
Yeah.
Very on Jerry
He
Jones.
cut him some slack.
Yep.
He did cut him some slack because of, the difference in eras and, the age that Jerry Jones was and the time that has elapsed since this occurred.
I guess if you're super old, you're allowed to be racist then?
Yeah. That's the thing. I don't know.
I mean, it's such like a jump to conclusion. I mean, we were, allowed to say homophobic slurs culturally, when we were in high school, and that was accepted. So, I mean, just putting that out there, that I think everybody in certain, places and time periods may have acted in a way that they regret, especially when they were younger in their teenage years. So, I mean, I think Jerry Jones, that being said, Jerry Jones is still a racist now. And and I completely disagree with Stephen A. And he's definitely still the same way. And I'm surprised I haven't seen him at the, with the MAGA or Klan hat on at any point.
Yeah.
I'm sure he owns a MAGA hat.
Well, that's my problem, because it was specifically said that he acknowledged that was him in the picture and didn't apologize for it whatsoever.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
Which is like, okay, it's one thing if you're 14, 15 years old and you're going along with your friends, along with the crowd, whatever's going on. But it's another thing of being like, yeah, that was me. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
But no, it's not fine. Just say like, maybe I was foolish and young and I don't know what was going on then. There, you did it. You didn't even want to do that.
That's all you got to do. Yeah, that's all you got to do. I mean, I think there's a lot of things that most people could apologize for doing when they're around that age. That is if you were cool, of course. If you're some, square, sitting at home, hanging out with your mom, whatever. I don't care about you.
Yeah. Everyone that's cool did ethically wrong
morally
when they were little. Yeah.
Involved in morally dubious.
You weren't cool unless you were
when
blurring the
younger.
lines between ethics and morals when you're in your teen years.
Well, we could really, do a whole pod on this, I think, but maybe we should talk about Jerry Jones's team, the Dallas Cowboys.
The significantly better team.
So I want to just explain the whole watching. I don't really, besides going to a number of games a year with my dad, I don't usually sit on the couch and watch games with him. It's rare, in fact. Usually it ends up being a playoff game or a Super Bowl, something like that. But rare is it just a regular season game. And, it's Thanksgiving, up in Vermont with some family, blah, blah, blah. And I've realized that it's very possible that my father and I have flipped our giant fan personas. My dad is me in college when it comes to the Giants.
Did he flip a table?
No, he didn't flip a table, but he got to a point where he said it was clear that we were losing the game. And he goes, "Why are you torturing me? Why do I have to watch the rest of this?" And I'm like, "Dad, we're at Aunt Ronnie's right now. We're watching the Giants on Thanksgiving. There's nothing else on TV. What do you want to watch? It's a Wonderful Life or something? You want to get, go to Christmas already? No, we're watching the rest of this game." And when I was trying to explain to him, it's just like, listen, yeah, it felt like it was a much broader result than 28-20 or whatever it was. That was right. That was
28-20.
Yeah.
And considering that we have the Walking Dead basically on our team, and we only lost by 8, that's wonderful. And I have no problem with it. I hate the Cowboys. I hate losing the Cowboys. But any year in the past, we would have lost 45-0. So, it would have been nice to win, but we have no one playing. And, the team wasn't as good as they were. So we lost. And I wasn't bummed out about it because of it. I wasn't allowing myself to be bummed out. So that was my experience watching it. I don't know if you guys felt the same, but it was just like, it wasn't like it was in the past where I was just like punching my leg and being mad about it,
Yeah. Tale of two halves, man, basically, to me.
Absolutely.
I think the first half was very, fun to watch and it was a lot better than I expected. Obviously, you brought up the injuries. Giants had a lot of people out and a lot of backups were playing. And I don't think a lot of people stepped up and played pretty well. But I think basically, in my mind, what this game came down to 3 things. One is that the Giants couldn't stop the run at all, which I knew was basically going to happen. We basically predicted that last week. They haven't been able to stop the run all year. One of the worst, run defenses in the league. 2 was that I think in the second half, specifically, Dak Prescott just was playing super well. And I think, he was just hard to defend because the Giants actually had quite a good pass rush this game, specifically Thibodeau, which we can get into in a little bit. But he was under pressure and he was still making really good throws. And he was hitting CeeDee Lamb, give CeeDee Lamb credit too. He was making a lot of good catches, and Michael Gallup as well as there was a tight end, Schultz. Had a couple of good grabs. Obviously, that run down the sideline with that, hurdle. I don't know if that was Schultz or not, but one of the tight ends. That was
no, that was Jake Ferguson.
Yeah, I mean that was it was just remarkable athleticism and a good play. I just thought the Cowboys made a lot of really good plays on offense, and the defense stuck in there and did what they could, but they were just outmatched. I think that's what it comes down to. And the third thing I think is that even though Daniel Jones has played like crap, he played like crap. You might look at the numbers, which were he's 21 through 35, 228 and a touchdown, which are like typical Jones numbers, and the completion percentage is like decent for him throwing that many balls. But
which though those like 10 of those passes came on that last drive.
I was going to say, so a lot of those numbers are padded by that garbage time drive at the end of the game. And if you really watch the body of work, he was underthrowing, throwing at guys' feet, reminding me of Eli Manning doing screen passes to some degree. He was throwing behind guys, overthrowing guys. I actually thought the best throw of the game was the one Slayton didn't catch. Because the one Slayton did catch was not a good throw. It was a really, really good adjustment midair by Slayton to make that grab. Jones just can't do it. He's not the guy. If you need to throw the ball to win, which you need to do in the NFL, Jones isn't going to be there. He's not going to be the one to take you to the next level. And that's why the Giants didn't win this game. Because the offense couldn't do shit.
That actually brings up an interesting point because it's going to be a tough situation, not as tough or tougher than we expect it to be, because as of right now, the consensus is the quarterback class, and we've talked about this before, next year is not remarkable. And depending on where we're going to be drafting, who knows what we're going to get? Maybe it's an Anthony Richardson or since it's going to be later in the draft in general, but that's not a surefire thing. The problem, and I don't want to hang on to Daniel Jones longer than we have to, but where would we go realistically? Is it stopgap?
Tyrod
is already on the team.
Do you feel that the coaching staff believes enough in him to have a year of him being the starter?
I want to see him play. I want to see him play this year. Yeah. I think. I don't think the last 2 games have really shown me what I think we need to see about Jones, and is that if you need him to throw to win the game, you'll never do it. And I think that's obvious. And if you want to, talk about the O-line and the wide receivers, ad nauseum, I mean, fine. But Jones isn't good either. He's not good either. He's shown nothing.
I haven't looked. I actually intentionally didn't look. I didn't know what the blue-colored glasses crowd said about Jones after this game. I love all the excuses and defending. And I didn't see anything. I don't know if you guys did, but
I'm sure it's that he has no one to throw the ball to.
Yeah.
It's the same stuff over and over and over again. And you know what? Slayton and James and Hodges played as well as they could. Myriak and Krager, he only had one ball, but there's guys that are out there and they're trying and they are getting open. Jones is just, I don't know what he's seeing on the field, and I don't know why he's not using his legs more, because that's basically the best part of his game.
Yeah.
Well, it's because I maintain the leg thing is a survival instinct. It's not a thing that he weaponizes like on his own accord. It's just him when nothing else is available. He just runs to save his life. I don't think he's ever like threatening it unless it's a called, called QB run.
Did you guys watch the Eagles game?
I did.
Oh my God, dude.
I'm not saying that Daniel Jones is as athletic as Jalen Hurts is, but
he's definitely not.
He could run, and the way that the Eagles were running that offense last night was just, it was exactly what I was just like, why don't the Giants do this? Why aren't the Giants doing this every game? I don't know.
It's not like Jalen Hurts is like a masterful processor too. He's not like necessarily like a surgical thrower, but he's more creative, that's for sure.
Well, what's their every team's injured in the league, but like, are the Eagles any more injured than anyone else? Or are they doing okay this year with that?
They have one of the best offensive lines in the NFL.
And no one's injured on it.
I'm not totally sure.
I mean, every team has injuries. I don't know where they stand, on the list. Obviously, the Giants have more injuries than most teams. I think the Rams are the only team with more injuries than the Giants. But still, I mean, you look at some of these, like the Giants that had one drive where they put Gary Brightwell in with Saquon Barkley. They're running the trap, which is a term the announcers use that I hadn't remembered since I was playing high school football.
Yeah.
And those plays were working. And then, they started,
Gary Brightwell is getting chunk yardage.
Yeah, you look great.
I feel like, a lot of times the offense is getting creative and then they sort of get away from it. And running the ball is the forte. So if you can, muster up these sort of interesting calls on runs when you have a mobile quarterback, do it. And then Jones, on his own accord, would rather throw the ball away and get intentional grounding penalty than, try and take off and at least get back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough because, you do wonder. Kafka is smart enough to, you would think, to call the right play all the time or most of the time anyway. And maybe he's just limited. We have to come back to the limitations of the talent and the health of the team. So we won't even see. And let's hope that Kafka is able to stick around longer than this year, because I'm scared of the coaches that are going to be looking for head coaching jobs elsewhere. And I don't
think he's gone after this year.
No, I don't think so. But like, it's on everyone's mind. And I know that's the way that the NFL works, but I'd like to see one amazing season where it's all like clicking and the coaching is just, it's already shown it, but like, I guess not enough to leave this off season. I'm hoping.
I mean, for what is he going to leave for a head coach? I don't think he's going to leave for a head coaching job.
No.
But and if you want to stay an offensive coordinator, there's not many places better to go than to work under Brian Dable.
That's true. So
for the chance to get your own quarterback to build a team around in the vein that Brian Dable did, like that's the program.
Or
for like
have a
him to take over.
Or have a stopgap and then have to push out another year. I mean, if that's okay, and they're building.
No, I'm talking from a Kafka perspective. Like if I was Kafka.
No, I know, but like what's going to be his quarterback next year?
I don't know.
I think Dan more meant like, they're eventually going to get a young guy.
Yes.
Out of the draft.
And my worry is that they may not, or he wouldn't be around long enough for that to really come to fruition. I hope he is, but.
I mean, someone I think who was last year a quarterback's coach and then now it's his first stint as offensive coordinator. I think that, unless you have a remarkably dumb front office, maybe the Raiders want to sign him to be their head coach.
That's what
year.
I mean. Yeah. It's so easily done like that. Like anybody who's an idiot out there in the league.
But who is
what?
Who was the best quarterback out of the draft this year? Kenny Pickett? Like, who's the number one quarterback taken?
I mean, how are you supposed to know? Pickett's the only one you really saw.
I'm just saying who came out.
Saw him.
Yeah. So, I mean, this year is a much better quarterback class than last year, Colin. I think there's at least 3 guys that are going to go in the top 15.
Well,
And then Anthony Richardson, who's probably going to go in the top 25.
which the reason I brought him up is I feel like it's, well, if we lose every game on out, then that's a little bit different. But like if we, sneak out a couple of wins here and there, he seems to be right in that wheelhouse of what we would possibly go for. Is he coachable up to a point of being the guy that a Kafka or Dable wants? Great. I'm just not sure.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way we can know how coachable he is. I don't know nearly enough about college football for that.
Yeah, I know.
But his raw skills are definitely in line with what they like.
Yeah,
in a Josh Allen vein.
Sure.
Vein. I just don't see the Giants going quarterback in the draft this year. I just, the one point I really wanted to make is that when watching this game, you really kind of noticed the roster is bad. The depth is bad. You lose a couple, key contributors, and you end up, getting destroyed basically on defense and not being able to do anything on offense. So
yeah,
it was rough. And I just don't think that the Giants need to go out and spend money on Daniel Jones, or at this point, I'm totally out on Saquon Barkley too. He should not be re-signed. The Giants need as much money and as much draft capital as they can because this team has so many holes. And, we've all been blinded by coming out and winning 7 games, so far. We didn't think that was going to happen. Nobody thought that was going to happen. And now all of a sudden, people are forgetting that you are still rebuilding. Yes, it's great to win. I love it. But you have to think about, this team's not going to win a Super Bowl this year. And if you re-sign Jones and Saquon, you're not going to win a Super Bowl next year or the year after. You have to look, 3-4 years from now from truly being, or maybe not 3, let's do 2-3 years from now from really being competitive, Super Bowl contender, depending on who you can find to go under center.
It's a stark difference between the first 7 games going up until this point. Not even the first 7, just the first 4 or 5. Saquon's slowed down. I mean, yeah, the line is crap, but that's the whole thing every friggin' year.
Give Nick Gates some credit, would you? Who was back and was dominant in the run game.
He was killing it. He was throwing people around. It was wonderful. He was. I mean, that quote that he said about how he's not the best football player out there, but
I love him.
Yeah, he's the best.
He was like, I have to be scrappy. I got to start punching guys because I'm not really that good at football. It's like, I love you.
Well, he didn't even punch anyone. It was Parsons that punched him just because he was talking trash, and I love it. I love it. I feel like the mean linemen, offensive linemen from the yesteryear are kind of back through him. Like he would have fit on any of those 80s teams,
Yeah, he's got that personality and the hair too.
Yeah,
and he's
it's also It's also the extra juice of playing the Cowboys for him, too.
Well, yeah.
I'm sure that didn't go.
Colin, I'm sorry. Finish your point before I wanted to give praise. Well, I do. If you want to bring up Parsons, I mean, Andrew Thomas did have his worst game. But I want to say, whatever it is. But I want to say I'm just really looking forward to Micah Parsons versus Andrew Thomas for a decade.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be such a fun matchup for a really long time. And even if Thomas, Parsons got the best of him this time, I think it's going to be fun to watch and very reminiscent of your Mike Strahan, John Runyon battles with the Eagles over the years. By the way, John Runyon's son is a starting tackle now in the NFL, which is hilarious. I forget what team he's on.
That's crazy.
I saw him playing the other night. Forget, but that's cool, man. And also, and I was watching Ohio State, Michigan, and Marvin Harrison's son.
Yeah,
he's super good. It's just so weird to see all these kids come into the league from when we were in college.
Oh yeah,
I guess that's what happens,
Well, Antoine Winfield Jr., Asante Samuel's son.
Yeah,
it's
plenty of guys.
Patrick Surtain's son.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Joey Porter's son is coming into the league.
Joe Horn's son.
Joe Horn's son is on the Panthers.
Joey Porter's son is a cornerback. I don't know how good he is, but
crazy.
Probably tough guy. So cut Saquon or no? I'm just kidding.
No,
but no.
Should have traded him 5 games ago.
Oh, sure should have.
That's what I'm saying.
That would have been smart. I think that you've been really grounded this whole time, Dan, in reality. Yeah. Well, Colin and I have oftentimes been swayed by the results of some of these games.
Well, you know what they used to call me in college, right?
Yeah, right.
Dr. Reality.
Yeah.
Dr. Reality. Oh, yeah. That's
it wasn't that every point of this, even when we were winning and it was all high and mighty and feeling great. There was no point in my thought process that we should re-sign either of those guys.
I think we could play some tape back I think we could play some tape.
I didn't say anything about re-signing Saquon at all. Not even a little bit. No, I didn't. I absolutely
we definitely had
did not.
tag conversation.
Yo, the
we
tag
definitely
is
threw
one
out
thing.
numbers. We threw out numbers, I think.
Well, that was with the idea that the production would continue as it was in the moment, and it hasn't. So it's easy. It makes it pretty easy for us and, the front office. If it continues as, I guess, drab as it has been the last couple of games, it's going to be an easy decision for them, I think.
DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, is my go-to when betting on the NFL this holiday season. When the conversation at the dinner table gets into who's your favorite Peloton instructor, or what kind of Tupperware is best for the mashed potatoes, it's time to check out DraftKings. Get your same-game parlays, easy fast payouts, player props, everything you want. And right now, new customers can bet $5 on any NFL team to win their games and get $150 in free bets if they do. Check this out. Right now, everyone can earn up to 100% boost with DraftKings stepped-up same-game parlays. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app, place a same-game parlay, and combine multiple bets like which team will win, player props, and point totals. The more legs you add, the bigger the boost, the bigger your shot to win. Every time I open DraftKings, I'm easily able to find what I'm looking for, the parlays, the teams, the matchups, the spreads, right there for you. Plug and play, you're ready to rock. So now, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, use code TPPN, place a $5 bet on any NFL team to win their game and get $150 in free bets if they do. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook with code TPPN. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. The production is not a symptom of Saquon. It's a symptom of all the circumstances being perfect for him to produce, just like most other running backs would produce to a certain degree. Obviously, the upside is greater, but I mean, we've been over this a gazillion times. I don't even feel like talking anymore.
I know that all I know is that Breda would have caught that pass on the 4th and 1.
Yeah, probably.
It was a bad. It was an
Eli pass. Yeah,
it was a bad throw, but I think Breda would have caught it. I do.
Do you think Brightwell would have caught it?
No.
Totally possible. I just don't see the point in spending. Okay, so you can get really anybody, and they might be like 80% as effective as Saquon for like 5% of the price that he's going to be paid.
Oh, absolutely.
Who cares? Yeah. Who cares? Just be gone with him.
Most replaceable position.
I'm done with him. I'm done with Jones. I'm done with Saquon, and I'm just ready. I'm ready for next year.
I mean, well, yes, and we are too. But like, what does the rest of this regular season look like? Honestly, like, is it lose every game on here on out, or is it here's one win, here's one win? Oh, there's 2 losses.
You definitely split with the Commanders, I feel like, but the rest of it, I don't know, man. The Vikings are tough, even though the Giants stuck in there with the Cowboys. The Cowboys dismantled the Vikings. Everything changes week to week, but you never know what can happen.
I think we get 2 more wins.
I can see that too. Who's left? Commanders, Vikings, and
Eagles.
Yeah. Eagles twice. Colts at the last game of the year. Yeah. I can see 2 more wins. I think the Eagles are going to destroy the Giants. We'll do a preview on that later, but their rushing attack is just so potent. Their whole offense is just so potent, really. It's pretty wild. Do you guys want to talk a little bit more about the defense?
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have any thoughts though. Do you have any thoughts on the defense?
Yeah, I have some thoughts.
Well, I don't know.
All those wrinkles are failing you, huh?
Well, there's just not a lot to say. We are down our starting cornerbacks. Who do we got back? We got back Rodarius Williams.
Had a fantastic game.
He played pretty well.
For coming in, with basically not playing the whole year.
Yeah.
It's pretty, he had that pick. He was solid in the run game, solid tackling. He definitely stepped up. No, he's not a starter in the NFL, but I think he's shown you that he can be depth piece on your team for, an extended period of time. He could step up when you need him to, I loved watching him. I thought it was fun,
Yeah, he had some great plays for sure. But I don't know. I just look at the starting defense, the names on it, and it, they played as good as you could hope.
Doesn't spark joy.
Cordell Flott, he had a touch and go game.
Yeah.
You have to give all the credit to Kayvon, I think.
Yeah.
Explain.
Well,
I mean,
think, last week we were like, oh, Colin, you can go. I don't care.
Yeah, well, I mean, I did bring up, I don't know if it was live on the pod, but I did mention how there wasn't enough production from him, and I think after realizing or watching a little bit more of like Baldy's breakdowns and like stuff like that, he does affect the game way more than more than meets the eye kind of thing. Like he's
not the
pressuring.
ticks on the stat sheet.
Yeah, which is cool, and I'm happy about that because the sacks will come eventually. You'd imagine.
He missed on one pretty bad, unfortunately. But
yeah, but here's the thing too, though, and we've said it before, and it must be because he's a rookie. But these lack of holding calls have got to go. I'm so sick of seeing someone tackle him to the ground and no flag being thrown. It's insane. And I don't know what it is. I don't know. The refs are just like, oh, you'll learn, rookie. Like, we'll give it to you when you earn it. Like, I don't know what the hell that is, but it's like, hello, I'm watching the play and I'm seeing an arm around his neck and he's like, his arms are up in the air and he can't do anything and there's no call.
Plenty of times.
He's pushing the pocket around like crazy, and it's good to see. And I think he'll only get better. And I think I'll back up my statement of saying that there was not enough production as of yet, and that I felt like I was worried before. I'm not. It'll figure itself out. Speaking of which, it looks like.
Can I rattle a stat off to you?
Sure.
9 pressures, 5 hurries, 4 hits, 38% pressure rating, success rate for the game.
Okay.
That is solid. And maybe it's not a breakout game, but it's a game that you can be proud of, and a game where the pass rush was better than it has been.
Yeah.
Dak Prescott was just playing so well, man. I think that's really what it is.
Which is funny because Dak looked like crap in the first half.
He did,
he
but he came
like
out
garbage.
He came out and played great in the second half. And you know what? There was a number of times where Kayvon got up in his face and he made a bad throw.
Yeah.
That would have been completed if it wasn't for Kayvon Thibodeau. So, you got to give credit to him, and, the usual suspects, and Dexter Lawrence and Leo Williams and Jalen Smith had a good game.
Yep.
Jimenez was contributing to the pass rush. I mean, I actually thought the front seven was kind of,
not bad.
At least in the pass rush scenarios, we're doing pretty well. Run defense, on the other hand, was not great by any stretch of the imagination.
Well, I did see today that it looks like Aziz is being taken off of IR to come back, which is nice. I think that'll help. And Bradison as well. Some players that will help both the offense and defense.
Why haven't we seen more of Ellerson Smith this year? Is he hurt too?
I've seen him warming up before games. I think he's kind of he's riding the bench right now. Maybe he's just not
good.
Maybe he's not good.
He's just bad.
Well, I mean,
he didn't play.
He's one of those guys.
No, he played one snap.
One snap, huh? I think he needs to put weight on. He's kind of like that tall, lanky kind of guy, and I don't know if he's got it for the NFL yet. Plus, he went to some cockamamie weirdo school like Burlap Tech.
Weirdos. Burlap Tech? Northern Iowa.
Yeah, exactly.
Burlap Tech. I like that.
That's a Tim Hardism, actually.
Yeah, that's good. What else about the defense? I mean, I want to say that Darnay Holmes was pretty bad.
Yeah, they put him one-on-one on CeeDee Lamb.
CeeDee Lamb was taking him to school.
He's not an outside guy. He's a slot guy, period, and that's where he should stay. We can't put him out there.
Hey, man, well, Nick McLeod was having trouble too, so, I mean, there wasn't really a lot of options on the
Nick
outside.
McLeod's having trouble then.
I mean,
everyone's going to have trouble.
Yeah. Hey, at least Julian Love is the man.
Yeah, great. I love that pick. That was a fun play too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, they're just not good enough to beat Dallas. And I'm worried that they're not good enough to beat a lot of teams. However, there was a team I do think that they are good enough to beat, and that is the Washington football team. Where we will all be at the game next week, by the way.
That's right.
So maybe we can tweet out what section we'll be drinking beer in. If you guys want to come by, have a frosty New England double IPA. Right at 9:30 in the morning. You hit me up. I'll save one for you.
I'll sell one to you for $12.
Yeah, it's beer and provisions prices though.
Yeah.
Set up a stand.
Yeah.
No, but interestingly enough, Commanders are sitting 7-5, one game behind the Giants. Right now in the NFC East, all of the NFC East teams are currently slotted to be in the playoffs, which is funny. All three, behind the Eagles, Cowboys, Giants, Commanders are the three wild card teams right now. So yes, this game is important. It does have implications. I mean, the NFC is bad in general. So if the Giants can, come out with a win here, I think that it really drastically puts up your chances, to get into the playoffs. I think they're sitting at like a 56% chance to get in the playoffs right now. The worst team, according to PFF, with the highest percentage to get in the playoffs, which is always fun to be in. I mean, what are your thoughts on this game, Colin? Do you think that we're gonna beat the Commanders here, or you think Taylor Heineke's star power is just too much for us?
The tough part about this kind of game is they easily could smack us up, and we easily could win. So I honestly can't make a prediction at all on win or loss. This is one of those like coin flip situations. I think it depends on who we can actually get back healthy to contribute on Sunday. I think that'll go a long way to deciding it. Home field advantage always helps a little bit, especially this year, and you guys will experience that it's a little louder than it has been in years past, which is nice. It's a nice change of pace. It's not as morgue or cemetery like. Yeah, I think it'll be a good game. I mean, we're fairly matched in terms of I think where we're at talent wise. They probably have a little more talent than us, but not as good coaching. So I think that's the balancer right there. Yeah, I mean,
Who's playing better football
right now? Like who's got
Heineke or Jones?
Heineke.
The Commanders are playing better football, period, than the Giants.
No, I meant specifically at quarterback, though.
Well, Heineke, yeah.
Heineke, and he'll probably
pretty
tear
crazy.
us up. He'll tear us up. He's
I mean, like they're just middle of the road, like we are. I mean, but they do have a better defense on paper. They can rush the passer. They can cover. They can do everything you need to do on defense. I mean, the Commanders are always funny because it's like before every season, their front seven always looks so great, and then it's just kind of like whatever. But it seems like they are picking up some steam now. Their offense isn't great. It's about the same as the Giants. So it's just going to be, one of those slug out fests. It's going to
be a lot of sluggos.
I don't even know what that means.
Slant go.
Sluggo? Oh, that's right. Slant go. I was thinking about atmosphere after I said it. But yeah, I mean, I'm with you, Colin. It's very difficult to predict this. It could go either way, and I hope it goes our way because this is a big week for the Giants in terms of staying in that playoff hunt.
I just realized that Ron Rivera is like a worse Jeff Fisher in terms of coaching, like kind of always in the mix, decent records a majority of the time, maybe sometimes, but like not great. Not a great coach.
He puts all his cards on the table, and he's not afraid to gamble on a riverboat. Stupid nickname.
Yeah.
Isn't Brett Favre the original riverboat gambler?
No.
Is it when you're on a riverboat, do you just more inclined to make bad bets? Is that what that is?
I don't know. I don't even know why it's appropriate to call him that.
Because like those riverboat casinos, down on the Mississippi.
No. I know, but like Ron Rivera,
big wheel in the back.
I was thinking about Brett Favre.
Brett Favre
I think Ron Rivera, when he was considered Riverboat Ron, was calling very aggressive, like going fourth down, like games, and now he's got it a little bit, but not as much.
Ron.
Yeah. He's like Murder She Wrote Ron.
Everybody goes for it on fourth down now. It was like unique when he did it back then.
Wait, what's the Murder She Wrote reference? I'm trying to piece that together.
Hey, Colin,
Lansbury.
Can you tell us about that story when we were in elementary school with Murder She Wrote?
No, it's not Murder She Wrote. It is Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman.
Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman. Excuse me.
I'm not telling that story ever. But Murder She Wrote, it's just like another show that old people watch.
Oh, okay,
They go to their 4:00 dinner the early bird special, and then they go to sleep early.
I was
That's
thinking
what they say
when the
before they
river,
go to die.
the riverboat reminded me. Is it like an Agatha Christie book where they're like murder on the riverboat or something?
Murder on the
Murder
Orient
on the Nile.
Express,
No,
Murder
but
on
there
the
was
Nile.
another one where they're on a riverboat.
Yeah,
Oh.
probably.
And I'm still confused about is there something about being on the river where you make a worse bet than you're at a casino on the land?
I think
This is not funny. I'm sorry. I
no,
give up. I'm just joking.
I like thinking about it because I don't know. You're on a riverboat. I think it's happenstance that it's on a boat.
It's just more like that's alliteration.
Yeah.
That's it.
I think the type of people you find on a riverboat are more inclined to make wild bets. It's a more outlandish, no holds barred, anything goes kind of atmosphere compared to traditional gambling
You think
venues.
you'd want to bet somewhere where you can easily get away if you're going to be so wild with your betting, because then you can run from your problems. But if you're on a boat,
you can't leave. That's why you
leave.
keep betting. You just keep gambling because there's nothing else to do and you can't go anywhere.
Okay, maybe that's it.
All right, well, we cracked the case.
Yeah.
With that being said, thanks for listening tonight, guys. You can follow Big Blue United on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can follow us at BBU Pod Boys with a Z on Twitter. Don't forget to download the DraftKings app. Use promo code TPPN. Check out happyearthapparel.com. Have a good night.
Goodbye.